Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report, and with the 135th pick in the fourth round of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders have selected defensive tackle from South Carolina, Tonka Hemingway. I thought if the Raiders were to go with a defensive tackle, I really thought it was going to be somebody a little bit bigger like a Yaya Black, but I'll tell you this. What I'm going to be talking about here on today's program is everything you need to know about Tonka Hemingway, what he's going to be able to bring to the table, who maybe it's bad news for, and at the very end of the show, I want you guys to see what Raider Nation did and why round 5 might be the craziest round in Raiders Report history. For Tonka Hemingway, 25 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 1 forced fumble. At 6'2", 284 pounds, a little bit of a smaller defensive tackle prospect. Now, for a team like the Raiders, I thought, again, they'd be looking for somebody a little bit bigger. Tom's a little bit lower on Hemingway, has him as an overall prospect of 280. However, though, when you look at somebody like Lance Zierlein has a 3 to 4 round grade on Tonka Hemingway. I think it just depends what type of player you're looking for. If you want somebody who's got athletic upside, that's what you're going to be able to get. Hemingway probably isn't going to have a ton of success as a pure tackler as a player in the NFL, but he moves well for his size, has a feel for keeping himself freed up and to chase the football. His best fit will be in a scheme that helps him clean, potentially outside on the edge. Now, if I'm the Raiders, I believe in Rob Leonard, and because I believe in Rob Leonard, when you look at a player like Tonka Hemingway, there is some legit upside there as an NFL draft prospect. He scores an athleticism score as an 84 out of 100. It's one of the higher scores overall. I would look at the Raiders and see what they've done with a guy like Adam Butler, who is another little bit undersized defensive tackle, but's been able to work and put in the time. I think you're looking at Tonka as being a potential Adam Butler replacement after 3 years, down the road a little bit. I should also mention Tyler Manoa. He did end up getting cut, so he's not really a member of the team. The pick is in. The Browns select Shedeur Sanders. The Browns just picked Shedeur Sanders in the middle of this cut that we're doing, and I want to be able to tell y'all right now, Shedeur Sanders off the board. He is now a member of the Cleveland Browns at pick 144. Shedeur Sanders to the Browns. Wild, wild, wild. The Browns ended up trading up, so now they got Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur, but I want to keep here talking about Tonka Hemingway. I'm sorry, it's the NFL Draft. When Shedeur gets picked, we were going to talk about it no matter what. Y'all already knew that was going to happen. But for Tonka Hemingway, a little bit, again, of an undersized defensive tackle, somebody who's played 5 years of college football, which you like to see. In terms of what Zierlein says, he says tweener type with good athletic ability, but limitations on how he can be played. The former defensive end displayed enough quickness and lateral movement to flash for South Carolina's defense. Hemingway will need to align as a inside shoulder of the offensive tackle or 5 technique. He said that he could be somebody that could play in a 4-3 defense. I think for the Raiders, when you just see his overall splits, he is a good athlete. And if you see somebody that is a good athlete, and if you believe in your coaching staff like Rob Leonard, you go out and you get him. I'll be honest, though. A lot of different opinions on Tonka Hemingway. I still think that the Raiders go out and they draft another defensive tackle. I really do. I still think that the Raiders are going to add another defensive tackle in this year's draft. I think that they were going to add somebody that's a little bit bigger in terms of just a big body guy, somebody that can eat space a little bit. But the Raiders value the trenches, and the Raiders already today have been showing you that this is going to be a team that they value the trenches. They got 2 offensive linemen yesterday. Now they're going to go out and get a defensive lineman. They've done it all in free agency. Tonka Hemingway is the pick. And I don't know about y'all, I'm sweating because of how nervous I am about what's going to happen here in round 5. And some of you might be going, well, Mitch, the Raiders don't have a pick in round 5. Why are you sweating? Watch the end of this video. I'm going to show you what just happened here on the Raiders Report and why you need to tune in live. Now, if you're sweating like me and you want to be able to not stink, give a shout out to our sponsor, Mando, because I love me some Mando, because you can control body odor anywhere with Mando. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code chat at shopmando.com. That's SHOPMANDO.com Mando.com. Spring is in the air and it's warming up, which means it's getting hotter out, and you don't want to be the guy that stinks because nobody's going to want to hang out with you. Mando controls odor for 72 hours. It's clinically proven. Clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. 12 hours after a shower, the average man's grundle odor level was a 5 out of 10. After today's live show, honestly, for me, it's probably a 7 out of 10. Luckily, though, I got Mando, and I'm not going to be stinking down there. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates over 40% off your starter pack. Use code CHAT at shopmando.com. That's SHOPMANDO.com. Please support the Raiders Report. Tell them that we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, boost your confidence from head to toe with a little bit of the Mando. So again, we're breaking down the latest pick here of the Raiders going with Tonka Hemingway. But the biggest news of the NFL draft has been the slide of Shedeur Sanders. And Sanders now off the board, round 5, pick 144 to the Cleveland Browns. And I'll tell you this, Cleveland took Dillon Gabriel at like round 394 or something like that. Obviously, they have their issues, as you know, with Deshaun Watson. But man, oh man, Shedeur Sanders being the pick in Cleveland, there's going to be a lot of attention. And I almost think it's funny that a few months ago, one of the teams that was said no way Shedeur is going to allow to go play for them is the Browns. And now I think after the slide, Shedeur's got to be that player that goes, you know what? I'm going to go to whatever destination that I'm going to be able to go to. I do want to roll through some of the other picks that the Raiders have made just thus far in terms of the overall NFL draft. As a friendly reminder, the Raiders also took Ashton Jeanty early on. My question to you, though, is this before we get into it. Will Shedeur Sanders start for the Cleveland Browns? I mean, he's better than Dillon Gabriel. Is he better, though, than who they also have on that team? This is what? It's Kenny Pickett, right? I believe it's Kenny Pickett as the other quarterback on that roster. Deshaun Watson will not play this season because he re-injured that Achilles. Will Shedeur start? Yes? No? Let me know. Let's go through some of these Raiders selections as it stands right now. Ashton Jeanty was the first-round pick. Jack Bech, Darien Porter, Caleb Rodgers there goes at number 98. Charles Grant, Dante Thornton Jr., a deep field stretcher, and then Tonka Hemingway. So out of 7 picks, 5 on the offensive side of the football, 2 on the defensive side of the football. No picks in the 5th round. Next pick is going to be 180 in round 6, then 213, 215. Those are also 6th-round picks, though. I could see the Raiders potentially trading up because I'll tell you this, now that Shedeur Sanders was taken, it wouldn't shock me if the Raiders were really wanted Will Howard, or if the Raiders did really want Quinn Ewers. You could see them package one of those 6th-round picks, potentially try to move up and go get a quarterback. Now, obviously, Shedeur's off the board. Will Howard, Kyle McCord, Quinn Ewers. If it was up to me, I would not trade up for any of the quarterbacks that I just mentioned. I think that you could wait to 180, and if they're not available at 180, you're okay. You just roll with Aiden O'Connell because I think Aiden O'Connell is better than Quinn, Kyle McCord, and I also think that he's better than Will Howard right now. I do think that out of all those guys, the one that I like the most, honestly, is McCord because of the upside. Cam Miller is somebody that I do think that the Raiders could potentially bring in as a potential UDFA. So again, the pick is Tonka Hemingway, a little bit of an undersized defensive tackle, but he is a really good athlete. You got to be able to respect that. And I think for Raiders fans, you just got to say, you know what? I trust Rob Leonard. I trust Patrick Graham. And if you trust this coaching staff and what they've been able to do on the defensive line, then I think that you should like the pick of Tonka Hemingway a little bit more than maybe what the consensus is out there. Tom has him ranked as a 7th round grade. Lance Zerloin has him ranked as a 3rd and 4th round grade. I think it just depends what type of defense you're trying to go with. But if you're looking to build in the trenches and a guy that's probably going to be your 6th DT, maybe your 7th DT, a little bit of upside there, I like the move here of Tonka Hemingway. Also, Lord Cameron Abbott ended up dropping a $500 Venmo. That's 1 boot in round 5. Josh I, $500 Venmo. 2 boots in round 5. Raiders podcast, $500 Venmo. 3 boots, round 5. Fabian Moreno, 4 boots, round 5. If my math is mathing correctly. Oh, you're right. Austin Walker, another boot. But if my math ends up mathing correctly, We are right now somewhere around 6 boots in round 5. I'm going to tell y'all, if you've ever wanted to do a boot on the Raiders Report, if you've ever wanted to chug some beers on the Raiders Report, if you're hanging out at Saturday, it's 1:22 here Central Time. Give me a follow on Instagram and make sure you're ready for the call, because a lot of these players on draft night, they sit around and they wait for their name to be called. If you follow me on IG and I give you a FaceTime call, you better have a beer ready. Or if you just want to say hello, I'm down for that. If you're not over the age of 21 and I notice that you're even close in that area, I will instantly hang up on you. I will also say that. So you better be over the age of 21. And if you're like, I'm 21, have your license right there ready to go. No, that's not going to happen. Shout out to all y'all. This show's about to get crazy. Tune into the Raiders Report. Tonka Hemingway. Welcome to the nation.